Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino, and coming at you again today with yet another video, yet another Wednesday video. I haven't done a Wednesday video in a while, and I've decided I'm going to change that up. So we're doing a Wednesday video, and I'm doing a collection update video. I haven't done one of those in a while either. It seems like I've been going to too many concerts and buying too many massive in mono Beatles vinyl box sets that I haven't been able to afford much else. So, but anyways, we're going to talk about the collection update that I got and kind of update you on some concerts I've been to too. So anyways, stay tuned for more of that after the intro. Yeah, I realize I haven't done a collection update in a long time, and I've kind of got away from it. I've kind of got away from my Wednesday videos too, but I think I'm going to make a change on that. So we're going to bring the Wednesday videos back and just kind of do something kind of just, and save my Saturday videos for kind of some little more album reviews and stuff like that, and this will just be kind of my thoughts or random stuff like this. So anyways, I got some collection updates here. I realized I just picked up a new album at a concert, and wanted to shout out that band, and as they asked me to, I got to meet them even. That was really kind of cool. I was thinking, well, what else can I do to kind of throw this in, because it seems like if it's not very Beatley on Beetle Dustino, it doesn't get many views. So we're going to start off with the Beatley one here, and I picked this up. So this is Barbra Striesden, The Secret Life of Partners Volume 2, which came out on June 27th, 2025. And of course, this does feature a Beatley thing there. I think you can see his picture there. That would be Mr. Paul McCartney on track 2 with her, covering his song, My Valentine. Pretty interesting track list on this with, who all do we got here? We got, I know, Hozier, looks like the first one there, Sam Smith, Bob Dylan, trying to read this here, Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande. I know that was a lot of stink about that one there, a lot of good news, not I guess stink, but a lot of talk about it. Tim McGraw, James Taylor, Sting, Josh Groban, Seal. I missed one here, but here's the track list anyway. If you want to look at that, just pause it. You can see their pictures there too. I picked this up purely to add to my Paul McCartney collection, because technically this is a Paul McCartney collaboration and I thought, well, that's kind of cool. I've listened to the song. I haven't listened to the album yet, but listen to the song. Show you below the tray here. I don't think it came with a hype sticker. I always keep my hype sticker, so actually, yeah, it did. Maybe it's in the booklet here. Let me do a double check here. Oh, yeah, it did. Wasn't much of one. There we go. That's the hype sticker that it came with. Other pictures of Paul here with her. Let's see. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, there we go. And the booklet there a little ways in. There's her and Paul working on My Valentine. I think that's about it, though. So, yeah, I just had to pick this up just to add to my Paul McCartney collection, because I'm trying to get all these collaboration CDs and albums, too. But, yeah, there was that one. Not much to say on the album itself, because, like I said, I haven't listened to it yet, but I did listen to Paul and her's song there, and it's all right. It's not great, but they're both aging. They're both, getting where they're at, but I think that was a good choice of song for them to do together. Seems like it's right up her alley and everything, and I know it's more recent Paul, I guess, on that, even though he should have probably done that album a little earlier in his career. Next up, though, I'm going to kind of skip around, because I should almost do the one with this, but I kind of want to do the concerts I went to. I got a Ben Folds CD here, Live with the National Symphony Orchestra, and this was released on July 4th of this year, of 2025, and as you can see, it is signed. I think you had to get this through Talk Shop or something. Was the only place you get this signed copy. I kept getting kind of messages about that. I think they know I'm a Ben Folds fan, so they were sending me, hey, pick this up, and I did, and I haven't even opened it yet. I've had this since it first came out. So we'll get the old trusty guitar pick plectrum here. Beatles Sgt. Pepper's one, which has been my trusty one the whole time here. And we'll take that out. I'll let you take a look at the hype sticker again real quick there before I pull the shrink wrap off. One more time with it off there, I guess. I don't know what I'm thinking here. And let's take a look at this without the shrink wrap, but there is the album cover there with Ben's signature. And I have seen Ben in person. I've seen him live in Fargo, North Dakota at the Fargo Brewing Company. It was about 2023 I saw him there. Not much on the inside here. There's the disc label. And so that was a pretty cool little pickup there. I know it was a little pricey, but I'm a fan of his, and I do got his collection. And believe it or not, I've been getting a lot of signed copies of his discography here lately. So I think his last 2 albums and now this, I've all got signed. So so I got quite a few Ben Folds signatures, I guess. So that's a really cool one to add in for me. Next up, I'm going to show this one as I purchased it after I realized that it was significant. I remember seeing this on the shelves back in the day, and I thought, why would I buy that? It's just a new cover that isn't as good as the original cover. But it's Boyz II Men, Cooley Eye Harmony. I picked this up because I realized that this was quite a difference versus the original, and you can see the track list here. We do got some remix tracks on here, and some singles and B-sides and stuff that hadn't came out before on the main album, and with songs like End of the Road that were so close to the main album there that, you know, it just made sense to throw it on there. But I got this used copy here. Just wanted to get that. Cooley Eye Harmony originally came out, though, April 30th of 1991. This version released in Europe in 1992. I couldn't find an exact date. And in the US, it came out in 1993. And I did see them on their recent tour here. They were in Fargo, North Dakota at the Red River Valley Fair. And I went to go see them on July 12th, 2025. Not going to do like a huge review of the concert, but I really had a good time. I had seen them way early in their career when they were first touring as an opening act for MC Hammer, who was just going by Hammer at the time. I think I've told this story a time or two. I always credit Boyz II Men, though, for being the band that introduced me to the Beatles. I knew the Beatles before this, but they were the ones that made me go, oh, wow, these guys are really cool, because they covered Yesterday on their second album, or, well, third album, which was called Two, because they had a Christmas album in between that, so I guess I don't know what we do there. But, yeah, I was really big into these guys at that time, and I always credit them to me hearing their version of Yesterday really got me pursuing more Beatles, even, you know, just from what I heard on the oldies station, or like, you know, in my parents' record collection. I decided to start collecting Beatles myself, and that led me to being a massive Beatles fan, because right soon after that I took off, and I've been pretty much Beatle Dustino like this ever since. I had a brief little detour when I became a Jimi Hendrix Dustino, I guess, for a while, because or the Dustino experience, I guess. I don't know what we'd call that. But yeah, I really had a little detour there. Really, for a few years, I was just listening to the Jimi Hendrix Experience and everything, all those amazing live albums and everything been out from him since, and that. And yeah, I really credit Boyz II Men, though, with kind of ushering me into the Beatles love. And my sister is a big concert goer, and she's always looking for stuff, and she's been trying to be a little more proactive on knowing, you know, groups that I used to be into, or she just knows that I appreciate them, and say, hey, you know, I'm going to go to this. Would you like to take along? And she was going to this, and I said, you know, I'd like to go see Boyz II Men again, see what's up now with them. And I was pleasantly surprised. I do watch a lot of like competition reality shows like America's Got Talent and Masked Singer, stuff like that, and they were on Masked Singer as the Buffalo a year or two ago, and I had them pegged right away. Being the fan of theirs that I am, yeah, I haven't really listened to them a lot lately, but I had them pegged right away. First off, with just the clues had me right away. Before I even heard them sing, I'm like, yeah, this is Boyz II Men. Second off, the vocals had me, but they were one of the first ones on Masked Singer to really throw their voices and make you think they were something that they weren't, because they kind of came out like they were three rock singers, and it was like kind of confusing, because they sang all these old rock and roll songs, did not sing in their signature style at all. I'm like, I could see them doing this, because I knew they were big rock and roll fans, especially Sean Stockman. I knew they were big fans of that. I think part of their new tour that they added this in was partially because of their time on Masked Singer, but it was really cool about midway in the show, they did this whole rock and roll set. They came out, Sean was on the electric guitar, I can't remember, I think it was Nate, I want to say, was on the bass, Nate or Wanye, I think it was Nate, was on the bass, and the other guy Wanye just sang, or Nate, I can't remember. I wish I would have remembered. It was like a month ago, so I'm trying to remember the best I can here. But yeah, it was just really cool, and it kind of took me aback and it shocked me. One of the first songs they did on it was Come Together, as a matter of fact. I knew that bass line the second it started. I looked over at my sister and I'm like, hey, hey. And she's looking at me like, what? And I'm like, they're playing my guys. They're playing the Beatles. So they did Come Together. They did Lenny Kravitz. Well, they did the Guess Who because they did American Woman, but they did it in the Lenny Kravitz style. That's what I'm saying. They did 2 Lenny Kravitz. And yeah, it was just really kind of cool. And they ended it with Prince, Purple Rain, which was just, oh God, that was amazing. And yeah, they're really beyond what you think of this boy band or, you know, whatever you want to label them. They're really beyond that. Yes, they do that too, but there's so much more. And I think that's really kind of cool. And I really enjoyed that show because of that. And yeah, moving on, I'm going to talk about the next group. Also, I listened to about the same time I listened to these guys, right around that same time, early 90s, 92. These guys would have came out. But another one that I went to go see, and I'm going to shout you guys out. So Speech, I hope I'm getting your names right here. Tasha LaRae, you know who you are. But yeah, I met you guys. I saw you at the Minnesota State Fair this year, 2025. You were playing the free stage and just was amazing. I really didn't know what to expect because I have not been to too many hip hop concerts. I really haven't. I think the only one that you could almost classify as a hip hop concert would have been when I saw Hammer and Boyz II Men and that. Of course, Hammer, rapper, hip hop artist. I didn't know what to expect. I used to be a lot more into hip hop and everything. It was like, yeah, I'm going to go check that out. Their song always, Tennessee, always gets in my head every now and then, even though I hadn't listened to it for years. I think I won their album off of their original album off of a radio contest one time. That was how I had the CD back then. They even asked, you know, if you had Arrested Development on vinyl, if you had it on CD. My sister thought I had it on cassette, but I'm like, no, I had it on CD. I still got the CD laying around here. So they were selling, though, they just released a new album, which is called Adult Contemporary Hip Hop, which also released the same date as the Ben Folds album here on July 4th of 2025. And here it is. And they had it for sale at the merchandise table, which they, after the show, came and hung out at and met the audience and were signing posters or t-shirts or albums as I got here. Unfortunately, they didn't have any vinyl. I was hoping they'd have some vinyl, but there is their signatures. Really kind of cool. They got the song Everyday People. They are truly everyday people. I was so blown away with just how just cool and chill they were. Very happy to meet everybody, happy to hear everybody's experience at the show. The show was just amazing, and I love how they signed in 3 different inks there, so it was very distinct on that too. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's the disc label. Listen to this album on my way home. Unfortunately, my car doesn't have a CD player, but I did stream it off of Apple Music. Vagabond Records there, it looks like, and tapes. That's cool. But yeah, there is adult contemporary hip hop. But a little more on the show, and then I'm going to just kind of tell a little what I thought about the album here. The show was so interesting, I thought. It was just peaceful. Really kind of a weird way to say that. Especially with, the bass booming and whatnot, but it just had such a peaceful vibe. Their lyrics just kind of put you in that place, and they're very positive, very, inclusive, which was really cool. The guy that was in front of me in line to meet with them, you had to go buy your merchandise and then get back in another line to meet them. The guy in front of me, came up and said, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't buy anything, but I just wanted to let you know I appreciated what you guys did. You made me feel so included, and everybody else, and I really appreciate that." And I thought that was just a beautiful thing, and I could tell they really appreciated hearing that too. And it was a lot what I kind of felt, sitting in the audience. It was just like such a cool, chill, peaceful vibe. Everybody was welcome. I looked around and the auditorium was pretty packed there, the seating area. There were spots open here and there. Now I heard they played 2 nights. We saw them the first night on the Saturday. They did play that Sunday too, which was I saw them on August 23rd, 2025. They were there also August 24th, 2025. And I heard the Sunday show was 3 times the size as what the Saturday show was, which blew me and my sister away when she told me about that. But yeah, it was just really such a great little thing. I loved all their little, they done a lot of shout outs, kind of sampling of other artists there. They went into Four Non Blondes, Hey, What's Going On? Hey, What's Going On? Had the audience all singing it. Was just great. My buddy was with me, and he looking at me, and he's like, this is just so cool. This is so fun. I never think of him as hip hop. He's such a musical theater guy and everything. And I didn't know how he would take it either, but he wanted to take along and go to the fair, and I told him about the show, and he's like, yeah, I'll come along. That sounds fun. Yeah, he really enjoyed it. My sister obviously really enjoyed it, but she's huge into multiple genres of music, so, and she loves going to live music, so I know she was having a great time. She was up dancing and just, grooving and doing her thing. And I was just amazed how just the vibe and the peacefulness and the feeling that was in the audience that night was just so cool. And then meeting them and seeing how cool they were too, that they truly embody that. I'll show you their picture there again. Just really made me think, twice on hip hop and everything and what it is. And I think I got away from it at that time. They were always the anti-gangster rap, if I remember correct. And I think it was the gangster rap stuff that kind of turned me away from it. And I should have just kept sticking with, artists like them and appreciating the genre a little more with that. So you guys really did awesome kind of reawakening me to this. And I was looking forward to driving home. We had, 4.5 hour drive to get home and 5 hours almost. And I was like, I'm putting on their new album as we go. And I got to say, there was a lyric in one of the songs, and I can't remember which one it was, but it cracked me up how perfectly timed it was on the highway on this. And I'm going to get a little political here, but whatever. The Beatles were very political too, so are they. So I'm going to just get a little political here for a moment. But there was a line in there, and I don't know if I'm going to quote it 100% correct, but it was talking about they got their Tesla. I'm glad that they were not having to go to the gas pump and, saving money at the gas pump. But hey, now it turns out they gave their money to the big racists. So what do we do now? Literally, as that line came on, and I'm laughing my head off at it and agreeing, like, yeah, wow, yeah, that's true. And I'm laughing, I'm, bumping my buddy on the shoulder as he's sitting in the passenger seat next to me, and I'm looking back at my sister like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And laughing. And then I look, there's a billboard of Trump and Elon saying, stop the billionaire takeover. Like, as literally seconds after that lyric came on that song. So, I mean, you guys timed that out great for me somehow. I don't know how Venus and Mars and everything aligned there to do that, but that was pretty cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed the album. I really enjoyed the concert. I'm going to be checking out some more of that stuff right now, as I really had a good time. I really enjoyed it, and so glad that I went. Not only did I have a great day at the fair, because I really did, great food and everything too. Union Hmong Kitchen. I got to shout out the pork and shrimp toast on a stick. Of course, you got to put everything on a stick. And also from Holy Land, I stuck around the International Bazaar. If I'm going to have fun food, that's where I'm going to stick. And I had the tandoori chicken quesarata, which just blew my mind. I absolutely loved both of those, just amazing. And just a great day at the fair, topped off by a great concert at the fair with Arrested Development. Yeah, just really had a great time. So hopefully you guys are seeing this speech and crew there. But you told me to tag you, I'll tag you in the video here. And so we're going to move on though, because I do got two more things. The other day at work, my boss always bring me a record or two here and there. He picks them up. He loves thrift storing, and if he sees something that looks cool, he'll pick it up. And they're usually super cheap, and he just gives it to me or my assistant manager. And he came up to me, hey, you like this one? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take that one. Who's next though? Originally came out August 27th of 1971 in the U.S. And of course, Baba O'Reilly, Won't Get Fooled Again, talking about political stuff. That's quite political on that. And as a matter of fact, I think they shouted out Pete Townsend at the Arrested Development concert. I didn't catch them say his name in one of the lyrics there. So let's see, plain white inner sleeve here. I glanced at it at work. We keep the lights off at work. We work in a office, so call center office thing. So it's kind of nice to, and he was saying, I don't know how the condition is. I do see a little scratch there and that, but looks not too bad. I told him, I said, oh, for $2 and you're giving it to me, I guess that's kind of a good thing. But there's side 1 and side 2 on the Decca label there. I always love these old labels. That's a great label too. That one's a really cool one. But yeah, thank you to my boss there on that. It's a little VCLT to kind of start to end off this video. But I do got one more vinyl thing here that I want to show. And this is really cool. This, of course, I bought new. But this is the Bad Monkey soundtrack. I got to get the whole thing down here. The celebrating the music of Tom Petty. If you haven't seen Bad Monkey, check it out. It's a great show on Apple Plus. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I absolutely love this show. And this soundtrack blew me away. I remember watching the first episode of it, and I caught 2 or 3, oh yeah, Tom Petty songs all over in the soundtrack and covered by another artist. Had no clue before I sat down to watch it, but yeah, it turns out the whole series, any music in it is a Tom Petty cover by these artists here. In a little celebration of Tom Petty, and it does take place in Florida, so kind of makes sense a little with that. But Vince Vaughn is the main guy there, playing Andrew Yancey, and of course the monkey here, the Bad Monkey, which would be Driggs from the show there. But yeah, I love how they did the Full Moon Fever album cover here, recreated that. I think that's really kind of cool. And it does have the Obi. I'm kind of showing you. I didn't take it out of the shrink all the way here. I'm going to hold the track list here a little for you to see just a bit. But a really good selection here. Eddie Vedder, Room at the Top, is just phenomenal on this. I think, yeah, there it is, the second track there. And the whole thing is really great. Another one that I'm going to give a shout out to, let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, You Don't Know How It Feels, Stephen Marley, which I believe is a relation to Bob Marley. I really love that one. That he really did a good job, reggae, making that into kind of a reggae song. But yeah, really, really cool. And this is on a really cool, they call it Island Time vinyl, and it's a double album. It's not a gatefold though. Pulled this out too. It does have this insert in here, which does have, yeah, kind of some information on it there. And then we got the back here with each of the tracks and all the credits and that for each of the tracks there. I don't know if you can pause it and read it there. And I'm going to show you this Island Time vinyl on, and they are in this black polylined sleeve, which is very nice and a positive. And the first one is on this kind of yellow and red splatter. Looks just great. There's the label for side 1. And then side 2 there. And just really great looking vinyl. I always love these. Side 1 and side 2 do look so different, so I'll kind of hold both again there. Disc 2, I think, is the winner on this, though. So also in the black polylined sleeve. Side 3 there. And this is kind of translucent. The other one really isn't translucent, but this one is kind of a aqua blue with a blue, kind of a royal blue. Looking really nice, though. I absolutely love that one. And it just pops in the light, that kind of translucentness. Let's see if I can get the light from the hallway there to kind of light it up there. But yeah, looks really great. And I'm really excited to play this. I'm so happy they put this. It's been available streaming for quite a while. You can listen to the soundtrack streaming, but I was so happy to see they put it out on physical media. It's only available in this set. I think it's only available in this color too. From what I saw, I purchased mine at the Tom Petty store. I don't think it was available at a lot of other places though. So I was really happy to see that they'd had it though. I'm sure you get it at other retailers, but I know for sure the Tom Petty store had it, but I didn't see it on like Amazon or anything like that. So I'm thinking it's a pretty limited exclusive release here. And this, of course, came out on August 22nd of 2025, so a pretty recent release here. And yeah, I was happy to pick that one up. It's a little pricey. I think it's about $40 or more, but any double album nowadays is getting to about that. So, but anyways, I think that is what I've got to show you for this collection update. And boy, I'm making some work for myself because I think this is going longer than I wanted. but I couldn't believe, I thought at first I don't have a lot to show, and after, now that I got showing it here, it seems like I do have quite a bit. But I also talked about those concerts I went to and stuff. So, and I do got another concert planned. I think I'm going to be going to Collective Soul here in just a couple of weeks here. So I'm pretty excited about that. They're coming through. They're a band I've been wanting to go see. I just missed them. They were in Fargo, North Dakota, I think last year, and they were playing such an odd date and stuff. I always hate this, that when artists come through our area here, it's like they're a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Sunday when you got to work the next day or are working that next day. And I work kind of a late shift, so I'm at an odd time to just skip out of work anyway to get to a show. Usually when the show's starting is about when I'm ending my shift. So so it doesn't always work out for me with them playing those odd times. But they're actually coming on a Saturday to this, and not too far from me here, a couple hours drive. So I'm going to go check them out. The ticket prices aren't bad, and it looks like it'll be just a laid-back, cool show. But they'll be at Devil's Lake at the Spirit Lake Casino. They got an amphitheater out there, I guess, that they'll be playing at, so I'm going to go check that out. Devil's Lake, North Dakota, that is. I'm going to get signing out, though, as I feel like I'm kind of rambling and getting on with stuff that isn't even related with this, and you're probably getting bored watching this and aren't going to stick through to the end to know that I appreciate y'all watching. I want to thank everybody that has watched and has subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel, like I say. And I also say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it, so please give it a like. I'm a little rusty. I haven't filmed a video in a while. I've had videos rolling because I've had them all preset, knowing I was going to be busy the weekend of going to the fair and everything. So I feel a little rusty here. It's been a week or two that I've filmed a video. But anyways, yeah, please give the video a like. If you stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like. There we go. I think I got it all in there. And also leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. Let me know your thoughts on these pickups here. Let me know your thoughts on these shows and these artists I've seen or going to be seeing, or whatever all you want to do. Just any sort of comment is great. Even if you just say, hey, Beetle Dustino, that's great. That shows engagement and whatnot, and YouTube likes that and helps promote the video. So there we go. All right. Anyways, I'm going to get fully signed out. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.